British explorer and naturalist Steve Backshall has been a regular on our screens for decades, especially for his Deadly series, profiling some of the world's most dangerous creatures.
Now he's back on Australian shores with his new live show, Ocean, bringing marine dreams to life. And I'm delighted to say that Steve joins us now to tell us all about it. Steve, welcome to News Breakfast.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Good morning.
And welcome back to Australia.
Thank you. It's always amazing. It's sort of like coming back to a second home.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to hear. Now tell us, what is this show all about?
Well, so I had the challenge of bringing the oceans to life on stage, you know, in the middle of a darkened theatre to try and create the atmosphere of the ocean is something quite intense. I wanted to flood every single theatre and give everyone a mask and snorkel, but it turns out you're not allowed to do that. So instead what I've got is life-sized ocean giants on stage, scale models of the biggest animals ever known to have lived. There's stage science, stunts and techniques and things that go wrong and frankly end up with me looking pretty ridiculous on stage, which people seem to like. In actual fact, I think, you know, an awful lot of my career, people have been watching my programmes just desperately hoping that I'm going to get bitten by something.
Oh!
And it's kind of more the same when I'm up on stage. So you can see there, you know, you've got you know, full-sized orca up on stage, and then using various visual techniques to try and explain how they work, to explain their physiology, how they've evolved, what place they have in the ocean ecosystem, and there's a lot of fun in there as well. A fair few terrible dad jokes, I have to let everyone know. there's going to be some stinking jokes in there.
Okay. You're obviously passionate about this, and this has been described as a love letter, this particular show. Why do you love the ocean so much?
It's a massive question, and one that I kind of sometimes struggle to put into words, but I think you have this vast environment that sometimes appears to be infinite, that at 1 second can be the most calm, tranquil thing you can imagine, and the next second can have a visceral, overpowering fear that is just beyond us, that makes us as a human being feel so tiny, and just reminds us of how powerful and how perfect nature can be. And there have been moments where I've been freediving alongside sperm whales or dolphins, and the experience is so emotional, it's so overwhelming that I almost can't put it into words. And then there have been other moments when I've been in the Southern Ocean on a tiny boat with 30-metre high waves crashing over the top of the boat, and you just feel like you are utterly at the mercy of nature. And I like that. I like the fact that it feels like there are still parts of our planet that we haven't tamed, and parts that we haven't explored either. You know, our deep seas, we are finding new species every single day, and some of those are so bizarre, so weird. And I think that, you know, for me as a young wannabe explorer, the knowledge that there were still places in the planet that hadn't yet been seen was the thing that drove me on to do everything I've done since, and to know that now, today, young people can still, in 2025, look out and go, there are big things that I could discover that could be my thing for the future. It is, I think, hugely important.
And you're in Australia. We are lucky to be home to a plethora of unique animals, both on land and in the water. What is one of the highlights for you coming to Australia, where we do have such an amazing array of wildlife that you get nowhere else on the planet?
Well, so we're going to be doing some filming for my new series of Deadly 60 once I've finished this tour, and we're going to be doing all of the big hitters. So we're doing the most venomous octopus, the most venomous snail. We're going to be doing the most venomous creature in the box jelly, in the irukandji. We're going to be doing sharks, big crocs, because I mean you have got it all. The most venomous snakes in the world, the most venomous spiders in the world. All of those things occur here in Australia, but the thing that excites me more than anything else is how well people here learn to live alongside those animals, how excited Australian people are, and how proud as well, justifiably, to have those as part of their native fauna. I think there is nowhere else in the world where you find that to that degree. People, you know, as soon as they meet me, people are like, oh, have you heard of this animal? Or how strong is the venom of this particular snake? You don't get that everywhere else in the world. And I think that sort of, that excitement about having the wild frontiers you have here in Australia, particularly out at sea, is unique.
You had a bit more of a tame visit, perhaps. You went to Melbourne Zoo. You've already been to Melbourne Zoo while you've been here.
It's been fantastic, actually. You know, I think that one of the things with working with zoos, as someone who spends their whole life in the wild, in the world's wildest places, is that, you know, there are a lot of challenges for a naturalist like me, but to turn up somewhere like Melbourne Zoo and see these captive breeding programs where they're taking animals that were believed to be completely extinct, that we thought were gone. We're looking there at the Lord Howe Island stick insect, at the Victoria grassland earless dragon. Those were believed to be gone completely from our planet. And thanks to the effort of Melbourne Zoo, they are making a comeback and will be returned to the wild to bolster wild populations. And all of a sudden, these crazy, stunning animals are going to be back as part of our fauna, thanks to the efforts of the guys there at Melbourne Zoo. And just seeing their passion, their knowledge, their experience, it's uplifting. And we need positive stories like this in conservation. It's so often what we hear about are the negatives. We hear about the fact that our planet is in so much trouble. You know, here in Australia, it's the barrier reef is dying and it's wildfires. And to actually hear there are people, heroes, who are out there who are putting stuff back, who are making things work, and to know that nature is robust and will bounce back given a chance is again something that's really important for young people, because this whole sense that it's overpowering negativity, it takes away their impetus to act. Whereas when they know that there are things that they can do to make the world a better place, it gives them reason to get involved.
Steve, we've been asking, because of your visit today, we've been asking our viewers their most memorable encounter with an animal, their most memorable favourite encounter. It might be very, very hard for you, but do you have a most memorable or a favourite?
Yeah, I think that there's been a few encounters with big whale species where sometimes we've worked really, really hard to get them, and then out of nowhere, one particular animal will take an active interest in you, and completely on their own terms, they will come to you and engage in a dance that may go on for hours in some cases. I've had it with humpbacks, sperm whales, with orca. And I think actually probably the orca is the one that got me the most. So up in the Arctic Circle, I was free diving below the surface. This is in an Arctic winter, so it's dark almost all the time. And this pod of orca cruise past me, and they're going off to an area where there's loads and loads of food. So they, you know, a full stomach just 100 meters away. But this one female just banked around, turned back, and came and span around and around me and my camera operator underwater. And she stayed with us for 45 minutes.
Wow.
She was coming up as close as I am to you.
It must have been freezing.
It was freezing. Yeah, there's no getting around it. I mean, this is the Arctic.
Yeah.
And she was eyeballing me, and you can tell that she is as interested in me as I was in her. And then she was spy hopping up out of the water to take a look at my crew up on the boat, rolling over onto her back to give us her tummy, like she wanted to come over and give her a big scratch, like a dog. And you know, this is possibly the most potent predator our planet has ever seen. But at the same time, it is just a very, very big dolphin. And highly intelligent, highly social, seeing something else in its world and going, what's that? And I think I want to find out more about that. And I got out the water after that, and I was trying to do my pieces to camera, and I was just kind of like, just completely choked up.
Wow. Steve, incredible. Thank you so much for coming in, and best of luck on your tour and then filming as well, as you can stay on in Australia. We really appreciate it.